In this video, I am going to be putting in a new battery in a DJI Mavic Pro remote. Now the remote came to me already disassembled, so in this video I hope that when I assemble the remote, you might get some tips and tricks on how to assemble the remote. It was only the second time that I've done it, and every time you do it you get better. I know the angles are a bit off and I seriously need a overhead camera. So once I have my overhead camera, then things will start looking a little bit better and a little bit more clearer. So just bear with me, guys. If you like the video, please consider subscribing as well as liking the video. It would help me a lot, and also comment on what you would like to see further down the line. I've still got Phantom 4 Pro camera assemblies, I've got Phantom 3 Pro camera assemblies, I've got Tello repairs coming up, I've got a whole bunch of things as I do when I get the time. So please let me know what you would like to see. Bear with the camera angles for now, they will get better, and please subscribe. Okay guys, so this is how the remote came to me. As you can see, a whole bunch of parts, and came with a whole bunch of extra parts. So what I started was with the actual remote. I opened it up, did the assessment, and previous technicians had found out that the battery was damaged. On the board you'll see a little ribbon cable. It says keyboard. It's connected to the PCB board. So the PCB board is connected to the board via ribbon cable. So what I did was you just use a prying tool just to undo the clip. Be very careful with the clip. It's very fragile. Once that's loose, then if the screen isn't connected, then you can just remove the screen. This frees up the PCB board if there aren't any screws on it. And then, as you can see now, I am checking that the screen and the battery is actually plugged in to a main board of the controller. So you just remove that. So now I assess, and the previous technician says battery's not working. I did test the remote before. The battery came on and then it went off, so it was definitely the battery. I had a replacement unit, as you can see. Now the battery compartment consists of a LCD screen as well as a ribbon cable that connects to the PCB board of the remote. So all you need to do is connect the battery back onto the PCB board. It can only go on in one way. What I found out is that before you actually connect the battery, you have to connect the LCD screen to the PCB board, also via ribbon cable, with a very sensitive connector. So once you plug that in first, then you plug in the battery. Here you can see the ribbon cable from the LCD screen, and that little white line there above the ribbon cable is where it goes in. And that's how the battery goes in. Very simple. This little connector also has a black push lock. It's very sensitive, so just be careful when you guys take it apart. Okay, now I've made sure that the power cable as well as the ribbon cable are connected to the main board and that the LCD fits snugly. The next step is to ensure that you fit the PCB board correctly. This is done via some screws. It fits pretty much snugly, it's designed for it. So yeah, just screw it down with 4 screws. Sorry that it's a bit out of shot here. I didn't have a picture of the actual screws that went in, so I just used screws from my spares kit just to make sure that I wasn't breaking anything or ruining any threads, and I managed to screw the main or the keyboard PCB board in. It's 4 screws, as you can see. Okay, so those were the screws to fit the LCD securely in place. Now we're doing the screws for the PCB board. You can see that the holes fit up perfectly. And ensure that the USB is on the outside so that you can see that it's flush. Then you know that the USB PCB board is in the correct place. Just checking the battery, making sure it's alright. It's on 84%. Lucked out with a spare battery that's working. Turns on. Okay, so now I'm going to finally fasten the keyboard PCB board. That's the board with the USB connection, making sure that it is flush with the hole on the left hand side. So now I'm just checking all the screws are nice and tight. Don't over tight them, just so that they are at their point where they're the tightest. As you can see, the cover does not have any connections to the controller via the gimbals. So you just snap on the cover. I think this works via magnets. I must still find out. Basically, the cover literally just snaps on. When you take it apart, it's also just snaps off. Before you snap the cover on, make sure that you have all the buttons that need to go on the top. Make sure that they are inside. Otherwise, once you put the cover on, you have to take it off again in order to put the top buttons and the top left and right buttons on. So I'm just making sure that the buttons go in now. Okay, now is the bottom plate. I struggled with the bottom plate because I had a whole bunch of parts, and I think I either had a Mavic Air or a Spark controller parts with me as well. So before you put on that USB plate cover, once the top joystick cover is snapped on, you just need to secure it with a couple of screws. You'll see it's at the bottom left and right hand side. And that secures the top plate. Okay, so the trick is that this bottom cover or side cover has got 2 clips on the top and 2 clips on the bottom. So as you'll see now, I struggled for a while to make sure that it fits. So basically, you got to make sure that the USB port opening lines up with the USB port opening of the actual remote. Then make sure that the clips, the 2 plastic clips on the bottom and the 2 plastic clips on the top, they line up. When you put it on, it'll look like it doesn't fit. But eventually I struggled for a while, and what you got to do is basically you just got to force it in, and then it'll clip on and it'll stay in place. It feels like it doesn't want to fit, but it actually does fit. From the other videos that I've watched on YouTube, this was one of the most difficult parts that the guys struggled with when disassembling the remote. So as you'll see, I eventually did get it. It just basically needs a little bit of force, make sure that everything lines up, and eventually it will fit snugly into place. Just be careful not to break your pins, and yeah, good luck with this one. There are two clips at the bottom, left and right. These actually go on afterwards. So once you've got the USB cover on, and you've secured the USB cover with the screws, it's only then that you put these clips on. Otherwise you'll struggle to put the USB cover on, so only put these clips on afterwards. They also fit just with one screw on the outside and one screw on the inside. Now, as you can see, the screws are fitted, but remember to put on the USB plate first and then those screws, guys. I was trying to do it and I was a bit stuck and I forgot to get the camera rolling, so I didn't get that part. Then you can add the joystick controller on. It should just clip on like that, and that's the remote assembly. I hope this video helped, guys, and let me know what you think, and sure, next time the video will be a little bit clearer.